the right pressure, from Nigeria in such a way that it will be adopted almost immediately. But now, federal government is saying that, look, dear teachers, in a bid to uphold professionalism, in a bid to uphold high standards and integrity in our education sector, all of you teachers, be it in, the private schools or the government public schools, you all would have to go through what has been tagged a mandate ethics and criminal record verification framework. And this is solely for teachers in both public and private schools. Now, this initiative, as we've been made to understand, aims to ensure that teachers are held to high public schools or government schools. Let us also put into consideration private criminal screening for teachers is out of or their favorite teacher, as it were, just to appreciate that person for the role he or she has actually played in their life or lives. So whether we like it or not, teachers play a very significant role. Was friendly, whether your teacher was the unserious one or not. Whether your teacher was the unserious one or not. It's expected that critical aspect of the screening process would actually entail a situation where teachers actually verified of their criminal records to identify any past offenses that may pose a risk to students or fellow educators. And then about the aspect of we are there or we are not there yet. There's a lot more that teachers need to unlearn and probably relearn. So you throw it behind what the federal government is actually introducing now. That's the mandatory ethics and criminal screening for teachers. Calling and up with a couple of reasons. All right. So once again, the number is called as 9073530044 or 9087668888. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal number on 009705. Are you or not? Okay, because should a teacher mess up today, teacher for not being professional and all that? So now you should also have a say on this discussion that we're having on the General Open Banter today. Mandatory ethics and screening for teachers, a step in criminal screening. And if you think, no, it's out of place, Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, announced the initiative on Monday in Abuja at the official launch of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, that's the TRCN, its digital portal and its new strategic vision for the teaching profession. He said the measure is part of broader reforms aimed at restoring dignity, accountability, and professionalism to Nigeria's education system. In his words, I quote, "No teacher, whether in public or private institutions, will henceforth be employed without undergoing ethics screening and criminal background checks. Private school owners will also be required to verify the TRCN registration and ethical clearance of their teachers." That's what Alausa is saying. He went further to explain that the verification framework will be integrated into the TRCN digital portal, which provides real-time teacher registration, licensing, and monitoring. Now, according to him, the system will allow school administrators, government agencies, and even stakeholders to confirm teachers' credentials and compliance with ethical standards, thereby curbing cases of impersonation, forgery, and unqualified staff in schools. Okay, now one would say that all of this put together, is a step in the right direction, because over time we've seen and we've heard stories of teachers who are quacks. How did they actually find their way into these schools? How did they even secure these jobs? to become a teacher, be it in the public or private school. Now, that is one, that is one issue that has actually bedeviled the education sector when it comes to primary, basic and secondary education. That has been an issue for quite some time now. We've seen cases of ghost workers, right? They are teachers, but they are ghost teachers or ghost workers. We've also seen where the Kaduna state government, and some other state governments, right, had to put these teachers to some sort of test, and a number of them actually failed. When you look at all of these issues, you begin to wonder whose fault, it is. Who takes the bulk of the blame? Is it the system? Is it as a result of corruption or not? Let's say you send your child to school and you're paying so much to get your child, educated or trained, and the teachers in that school, they have a questionable character. How many parents even take it upon themselves to make some sort of inquiry like, okay, I'm about to enroll my child in this school. I've heard a lot of stories, or my neighbors' children are actually attending the school, and that's why I want my children to also attend the same school. How many of you really take it upon yourselves to do some sort of background check or search before enrolling your children? What exactly is the antecedent of teachers in that school? Do they have questionable character? Do they have criminal background? Then in terms of qualification, verification, how genuine is it? Do you ask all of these questions? Some of you do, but some others don't. But it's actually important you do. But with this development coming from the federal government, introducing the mandatory ethics and criminal screening for teachers, this would perhaps expose parents, to all that they need to know before they enroll their wards in a particular school. So it's beginning to look like if a school decides to flout this, policy by not being or getting registered on the TRCN portal, then maybe you shouldn't take your child to that school. So that would actually mean something not too good, not too nice for the integrity of that school. But do you think teachers are going to give this the warmest reception at the end of the day? Do you think this is something that is going to be kicked against? Like, maybe, just maybe, let us place our priorities rightly. There are so many issues to deal with as a nation at the moment. Just thinking. That could be your thought at this point in time. But whatever it is, share it with us. Be bold enough to tell us that, look, this is a step in the right direction, but, they need to cross the T's and dot the I's properly so that there would be continuity. It's not enough to introduce a policy. It's not enough to introduce, a strategy on how to make our society a better place, especially right here in this part of the world. But can that tempo be sustained? Administrations to come, is this something that would be sustained? Or this is just to prove a point that we've been able to introduce, mind-blowing concepts and ideas? Continuity is key. If you ask me, this is indeed a step in the right direction, because when you hear stories of teachers, abusing kids in a place of learning, you begin to wonder, how did this person get employed? So if we have this strategy in place, that should send, some sort of goosebumps, down the bodies and spines of those who actually want to be teachers tomorrow. That is to send a message that the teaching profession is a noble one, and at the same time, it shouldn't be taken for granted. Also, Francis Namani is watching us live on Facebook. As always, thank you so much for always joining, the conversations on YouTube and Facebook. All right. But it's really, really important that you share your thoughts. Really tell us what you make of this. If you're a teacher and you want to be anonymous, it's fine. But come on, you can as well mention your name and your location. Own up, own it. It's your opinion, and we are the ones soliciting for it now. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Master, good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Edward.
Yes, I'm calling from the post.
All right, good to have you.
Yeah, this development is a welcome development. But my concern is, are they going to implement it? Are they going to implement it? Of course, teachers. It is good to start with teachers because they are the ones teaching us, our children, our
Right.
leaders, tomorrow's leaders. So it's good to start with them in order to reduce this type of act. But if I ever contested, I have contested. There is a particular form they will ask you to fill. They will ask you to, to indicate whether you have ever committed any criminal offense. And if you have, you will say yes. But if not, you will say no. So who is going to say yes? How would they know that this man has committed criminal offense before?
Right.
How are they going to know that? Then INEC have a department that will check whether this man has committed any criminal offense? So anybody can, if you are the one contesting, can you say yes, you have committed an offense? No. About drugs can be tested. The criminal offense in Nigeria, is there any record? When you go about asking neighbors that has this man committed this, has this man done this? Once some people we really move from here to Lagos, from Abuja to Lagos, go and look for a teaching job. I don't know how they are going to implement it. Maybe you have the best information to give me how I want to go about it. Because if I committed an offense in Abuja here, I can go to Sokoto. As someone who has not committed any offense, I can get, once I have a certificate, I can be given a job there. So entirely, we need to, anybody that committed criminal offense, it should be properly documented in Nigeria. Or else, it will be difficult to implement this policy. It's a welcome development. It's difficult to implement.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Edward, for your contribution. So, how centralized is our data system in Nigeria? I know that if one commits an offense and the person gets arrested, you are actually made to write, a statement, right? And a file will be opened. But that is like the analog way of doing things. Anything can happen. What if the file actually, gets missing, or it just disappears just like that, mysteriously, or it gets burned? Then it means that that station has actually lost records of, people's cases. So if you must do a background search on someone to know if the intending teacher has actually committed a criminal offense before now, how do you plan on, achieving that aim at the end of the day? Now, there are so many perspectives to why the federal government is actually introducing this mandatory ethics and criminal record verification framework for teachers in both public and private schools. All right. The implementation process, we understand that a digital portal, has been created. That's the TRCN, and that will actually enable efficient tracking and monitoring of teachers' credentials and employment history. And the framework is also designed to prevent impersonation, forgery, and hiring of unqualified teachers. But again, how fortified, how centralized is our data system in Nigeria? I'm Deltan. So if it happens that I leave Delta for Sokoto, for example, and right there I'm actually in search, of a job, and then I go to a private school because I am not from Sokoto State, so it might really not be easy for me to secure a job with the state government. So I decide to approach a private school. Well, I want to be a teacher here because now this mandatory, screening is for both public and private school teachers. But this school is actually in Sokoto State. And just maybe if we have a data system and I'm Deltan, so it means that my record is probably with the Delta State government. But if we have everything centralized in such a way that from anywhere in this country, your records can actually be accessed. Just a click. Just like the way you impute your NIN and then your data, your bio, everything would pop up. So if we have a system like that, just maybe that would make the whole process more efficient. But in the absence of that, do you think this is something that is, that is going to be long term? Do you think this is one policy that's going to be long term, or it's just to prove a point and score some cheap points? Call us on 09073530044 or 09087668888. These are the numbers to call. Send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal number on 090970544 and 50. Like I said before, this conversation is not open to teachers alone. All right, as a parent, how much of a concern is this development to you? Do you think this is something that Nigerians should actually throw their weight behind? I mean, if we come together in our numbers and say yes, this is a step in the right direction. Every teacher in public and private schools must undergo mandatory ethics and criminal screening. That is what we want, because it will actually mean well for our children, that are actually attending the schools. Just maybe, because they say united we stand and divided we fall. Okay, let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, I am AG calling from the Kobuma.
All right. Are you a teacher?
I'm not a teacher.
Okay.
But in the system where things are working, I also went to school.
Right. Okay.
My take on this is that we have so many policies to guide us in our learning in the schools. But unfortunately, most of these policies are not effective and not being carried out the way it should be. Okay, go to this policy they want to implement now. The person who is going to carry out the policy, who affects the teacher, is the teacher being fed well. Let's start from giving teachers their due, so that when they leave at home, when they leave their homes, go to school, then you will see them behave like teachers. I went to primary school in late 70s, secondary school in the 80s. I know how our teachers were. And these are people who were eating well in their homes and then come to school. You revere them. Even one will be privileged to carry a teacher's bag then. Today, teachers have been left to nothing, and then you see somebody, a teacher, he's even begging the students to give him something to eat. What policy are we implementing? Go to 63446 so system. What is happening there? There were other policies that were ingrained into it, like this thing, handiwork before you come out from secondary school or JS3, you must have learned one profession or the other. Today, who is talking about that? So let us leave all these new policies we are talking about, go back to the system and see what is wrong. Not the policies can't help us, rather doing things right. Even in the civil service, people are not paid, even those that are being paid, how much do they pay them? And then you expect that person to go to school, go to work, and do what you want. It's not fair. The policies don't change the country, rather making things work the way it should be. Thank you for this opportunity. God bless you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. But don't you think also that if we focus so much on the welfare package of teachers, of which I agree, should be reviewed, upward, don't you think we're going to lose sight of, moral standards, professionalism and integrity? Don't you think so? Now, one would want to start or raise another argument that no, if these teachers are well paid, if their welfare package or packages are, just up to standard, then just maybe they would comport themselves. They would ensure professionalism. Then how then would you speak to the trend of quack teachers that we have in the system? How do we eliminate that trend from the education sector? 09073530044 or 09087668888 are the numbers to call. Send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal number on 090970544 and 50. All right, tell us what you think. Do you think that this is indeed a step in the right direction, that our teachers be subjected to mandatory ethics and criminal screening? Shouldn't that be the list of our issues or worries right now? Maybe yes, maybe no. But if your thoughts are any different from what the federal government is proposing or introducing, why not let us in? Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Emmanuel, calling from Lokogoma.
Emmanuel from Lokogoma. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. There is one thing I want you to understand. The point about TRCN, they are just like an association registered under the CAC to siphon or to make money from government posts, from teachers, from teachers' body. It's very regulated, just regulated. They call themselves that they are regulating teachers, but which is not. The only thing they should have done, all they should have done simply is that they need to allow people to get themselves involved in serious and rigorous training. I mean the government, not the TRCN.
Okay.
Training and retraining. Am I communicating?
Yes, training and retraining.
When you have training and retraining of teachers, you understand it now?
Yeah.
That training them on the line of duty. It will help go a long way. And come in contact with their remuneration. Teachers are badly paid, and they should be the most paid. Because it's only the teachers that will give us a good senator, that will give us a good governor, that will give us a good House of Representatives leader and a state House of Assembly leader. All of us went through them. We passed through the teachers. But it is the teachers that are worth it. You can imagine a teacher receiving 10, 12, 15,000 naira. Even in the so-called private schools here in Abuja, that they are paid teachers 70,000, 80,000 naira and collect about 300,000, 500,000 from each student per term. It is not encouraging. Now, the bone of contention is this. Whenever they want to do this, let them do a background check. Let the school itself run a background check in checking the credentials, verifying their credentials, going to the school where they obtain the certificate. To verify, this person, I have the certificate, I have the staff here who claims to graduate from your school. Can you please verify for me? But because they are not ready to pay, they are only after making money. I mean the schools now. They are only after making money from the public. So they themselves are not ready to do verification on do a background check.
Okay,
Yes,
but
madam.
do you not fear that aside verifying their qualifications, which is very, very important, it might be a difficult task to really know someone's criminal background? I mean, if one had actually committed a criminal offense back then, how are you supposed to know when we don't have a defined data system in the country?
Thank you. That boils down to the problem of the society generally. The nation itself does not have a good background check, a good database. Am I communicating?
Yes, please.
The nation itself does not. The data should be checked from either the school, at least it should be on the file, in the student file, that during the part of the stay in the school. This they did that. You understand that? Because there's no way when you pass through a school and you have an issue, they will not file it. There's always a filing system.
Okay.
Even in the university.
All right.
There's always those time it was completed for examination malpractice. During this time it was I was involved in court activities or a fight with another student. Definitely you see it traces.
Okay.
You coming up.
Right.
But in this case now, the system, the TLC and itself, they are not checking. They just tell you come and pay to register. It was recently decided during the exam. Normally you just pay and you register. Just like you have all these associations that collect money and preferential association, mixed association, good seller association. That's what they do.
Okay. Thank you very much for your contribution on the show.
Welcome.
Thank you. Okay. But across places of learning, it is not every crime that is reported. So for the ones that are underreported, what happens? How are you supposed to get, the track records of a particular person who has probably been concealing, his or her crimes? How? Well, this is still going to be, subjected to more, criticisms, because the federal government is just introducing this now. And we wait to see really if teachers are going to be receptive, to this policy or not. And parents, you should also understand that you have a role to play. Sometimes the policies introduced by the government, whether or not it is targeted at a certain or a particular sector, we all have a role to play in terms of scrutinizing it. So we don't have a situation whereby, when it gets implemented, we'll not say, this was actually, enforced on the masses. There was no proper consultation, there was no due consultation and all of that. So when we have conversations like this, it's not just because we just want to talk, but this is one amongst many ways that the government can actually get feedbacks from the public. So always take it upon yourself to share your thoughts on radio, especially when conversations like this, are brought to the fore. We'll have to leave things here because it's 11 o'clock already. Thank you all so much for sharing your thoughts and also spending part of your time with us on the General Open Banter. The conversation continues, like I always say, on Facebook and YouTube. Go have a playback and leave a comment. It's very important. Leave a comment and also share the video. You never can tell who this video is going to, impart, positively, not negatively. Thank you very much. My name is Omo Ife Peace of Semere. I'll be back in a short bit with the latest update as far as the nation's capital